let's take the conversation forward. We'll, of course, address a lot of newsmakers as well in the due course of the show. Anshul Saugal joins us on the show to talk about the fundamentals, and we've got Naresh Mirani addressing the technicals. Naresh, first, a word on the kind of tumble that the market has taken, considering it seemed like it's going to be one of those very quiet, sluggish kind of days.
So it is still a sluggish day given that 100-150 pointer move for a 23,000 index. It's just that in the morning we saw a positive uptick. We saw Bank Nifty actually go up by 400 points, and we are down now 400-500 points. But the range, which was the volatile day on, say, 20th December, we are still in that range. The low of that day for the Nifty was 23,500 odd, and the high was 24,050. Same, the similar range for Bank Nifty is around 15,100, 200, and 15,800. So we still remain in that range. This is the fifth day in the range. So till the time we are in the range, we expect this consolidation to continue. Once we get beyond this range, we get a short-term trigger to trade.
Okay, looking for that short-term trigger to trade. But Naresh, what about the pharma index showing quite a bit of strength today? Do you see this continuing for the next few days?
So that's the only index which is really showing strength in the last 3-4 sessions, and it's very broad-based. So it's a Sun Pharma also breaking out, and the Laurus Labs also breaking out, and even the smaller names. So overall, pharma seems to be the defensive pack which is playing out. FMCG has lost its defensive status, it seems.
Right, okay, let's welcome on board Anshul as well. Anshul, hi, afternoon. What's been your year-end strategy, or is there a strategy, or just sit back and wait it out up until earnings next month?
Afternoon, Aisha. Thanks for having me. The strategy is what has worked for me over the last 23 years, which is that focus on what is in your control. And the only two things which are in your control are buying quality companies and buying them at reasonable prices. As long as you can do that, and you don't need the money that you're investing in the markets tomorrow, you're going to be home if you hold those stocks for a period of 2 to 3 years. The longer you're holding horizon, lower are the chances that you're going to lose money. And in that context, that is the strategy that we are following. Invest in quality companies at reasonable prices, and then have a time horizon which is not the next 3 or 6 months. I can, in the same breath, tell you that markets move in waves. There are certain sectors which are on a high wave at one point in time, and there are others which are on a low wave. I recall 2021 IT was high, and there were banking, and particularly PSU banking, was quite low. And then the next year IT came down, PSU banking went up. Now, what this does is that it gives you opportunity in all types of markets, and it is left to you as a seasoned investor to find this opportunity. I find that at this time, it's not going to be easy to make money, but there is enough opportunity in the markets. And if you dig deep, there is money on the table to be made in the next few years.
Those pockets where one should look for those ideas and dig deep. I mean, are you going top down and, kind of calling out some sectoral trends, and within that, look for the best ideas, or is it going to be very, very bottoms up?
Anisha, I was reading a report in the morning, and this was a report of a conference that recently happened of small and mid-cap companies, mostly SME type of companies, but broadly small and mid-cap companies. Now, if I looked at the valuations of companies in this report, while they were quality companies doing very well, growing very handsomely over the last 2 or 3 years, but the valuations were anywhere from 50 times to 60, 65 times on a trailing basis for these companies. Now, clearly, in this space, valuations have really stretched themselves to a level where there is no room for error. So broadly, you will not find, there will be expensive opportunities in the broad market, but there will be that opportunity which will be attractive for the seasoned investor, where valuations are reasonable because of company-specific reasons. I find that will be the kind of market we will see in the coming year, where stock-specific opportunities will do well, And these opportunities lie across sectors. Whether it is banking overall is not expensive, but in banking, stock-specific opportunities, whether it is pharma, capital goods, manufacturing, in all sectors of the market, you will find these stock-specific opportunities. Of course, it is left to you to dig deep and find the opportunities. Broad markets seem slightly expensive, particularly in the small and mid-cap space.
Taken. Naresh, comment on the charts of AstraZeneca and Suven Pharma. That stock has suddenly tumbled, what, 10% right now, Suven Pharma?
So AstraZeneca is something which is generally pretty liquid and very sideways. Even now, it's been a slow drift after that move towards 8,000 odd levels. So not tracking it very closely. But Suven, now it continues to be a case wherein the stock had already rallied quite a lot. Say the stock doubled in the last 6 months. And now we are seeing a pause. There could be some announcement maybe, but the volumes are also high, indicating the correction could continue a little more, but would be an avoid at current levels.
Stocks which are making the news today, and JSW Energy definitely is one. In fact, we should bring up this soundbite as well. We had the management earlier today. One of their arms has inked an agreement with O2 Power. They're going to be acquiring a 4,696 megawatt of a renewable platform, and that's going to increase their locked-in capacity to about 25 gigawatt now. In fact, let's hear out what the management told us.
Two benchmarks are very, very important for us. One is our benchmark hurdle rates, which are the mid to high teen IRRs. And second, when we compare any inorganic opportunity, build or buy. So on these two parameters, this particular deal has been very, very attractive for us in terms of what is the tariff, what is the mix of solar, wind, or hybrid or FDRE. This asset is a very high quality asset and built by very high quality professionals. So we are getting the entire O2 team also to be part of JSW Energy, which will be a big boost for us, not only in terms of completing this 4.7 gigawatt of O2, but also to support in JSW Energy's plan of capacity additions, what we have laid down for next maybe 4, 5 years, 6 years time. When we talk of in the energy space, the role of battery, whether it is in the storage or in the electric mobility, these are the two things which are very much going to be in demand going forward. The battery energy storage, so we see this as a big opportunity, and also the de-risking rather than depending only on imports. So we are evaluating, talking to all global majors, good companies who are in this in terms of technology.
Okay, that's JSW Energy, one of the gainers in trade, as is the case with some of the pharma names too. Biocon today is the one which is leading the charts. It's a good 3.5% of an uptick that you're seeing on that stock. There's Sun Pharma, there's Cipla. All those stocks are looking good right now. Naresh, do you sense that pharma would be the go-to space, at least a safe haven, the days that the market corrects?
So generally, we've seen whenever the markets get into a sideways or a downward trend, we see the defensive names doing well. So it was FMCG and pharma. Right now, it clearly seems to be pharma. And the sector overall, say from 2021 to 2024, was not the best performing one. There were only select moves. So pharma seems to be the place where there could be some momentum. And there are fresh trades coming up after consolidation. So whether it's a Lupin or a Sun Pharma or other names, but would focus more on the larger names like Sun Pharma and Dr. Reddy's for a trade to be on the defensive side.
In terms of the movers in the last few minutes, it continues to be Pfizer as well as AstraZeneca that gained ground. Motilal Oswal has done well. IREDA, Bharti Hexacom, these have been some gainers in the last few minutes, whereas Balaji Mines has managed to see a bit of a tumble. And Triveni Engineering has been a very curious case. It started with a gap up of around 6-7%. From there, it's seen a reversal of almost 15%. Right now, the stock is down 10%. So, Triveni Engineering has seen from the highs of around 530 thereabouts. It's right now at the level of around 450. So definite pressure, and for the markets as well, 23,660. But as we are wrapping up the year 2024, let's take a look back at one of the biggest trends and disruptions this year, and that's clearly been the quick commerce space. What are the key insights and what really panned out this year? Let me take it across to Asta, my colleague, joining us with more on this story. Hi, Asta.
Hey, now we will highlight some of the trends and the major highlights pan-India, which has been steal of the show. Especially we'll start from the RAI, which is the Retailer Association of India. Overall, this year we have seen 7% growth in the overall categories as compared to last year, 2023. The main category which is topping the list right now, it's food and grocery with 14% growth, and QSR, the quick restaurant services, with 10% growth, and jewelry has seen 9% growth this year as compared to the last festive year in 2023. Now coming on to the next, to the Zepto platform, some of the quirky orders which India has witnessed. Then a man in Chennai has ordered 481 condoms along with 481 watermelons. Now this is some unique combination which we have seen from their records as well. Now in Kolkata, a man ordered 96 pack of Tata Tea Gold, and also Bangalore is not behind. Bangalore has witnessed 5,544 pouches of curd. Now what's there in their kitchen happening, no one knows, but these are the major trends we have seen across in the Zepto category. Also, Zepto is no behind in the late night trends as well. The late night cravings have crossed over 2 crores of orders, and the snacks are ordered between 12 to 4 a.m. at midnight. Also, some of the creativity is not left behind. The creativity is at its peak, of course, in India. Some of the men have ordered 85,000 worth of stationery items. What knows what creativity is there in the midnight session. Also, some of the quirky combinations, a man has ordered dumbbells as well as samosa, like dieting plus exercise. See, there are some combinations which are also there. Puja essentials along with the tonic water has also been witnessed, some of the quirky combinations this year. So coming on to the next category platform, which is Zomato. Now biryani always tops the list if we come towards the food. Now biryani has witnessed over 9.13 crores of orders every second. Now pizza is no behind. Pizza has also witnessed 5.84 crore orders, especially during the live concerts which were happening in Mumbai. Also, this much of pizza has been ordered. We can just move towards Mumbai to New York. The whole line, this much of worth of pizzas are ordered, and India is no behind of Manchurian combinations in train, whether people are traveling or are spending their vacations in the train, as well as this is 120 Manchurian combinations. Also, Delhi tops the list by Golgappa orders. Last but not the least, we also come by Blinkit. Approximately more than 2 crores of orders of Coca-Cola cans, Thumbs Up bottles, Maggi packets, and weather is changing across India, so these trendy orders, 9,150 Wix cup drops are also ordered by the users. So these are some of the orders. Techno lovers are also ordering up to 50 lakh of orders. So these are the couple of trends and highlights which we have gotten throughout 2024. Now we'll see what will be the 2025 trends, but these are the notable trends and quirky combinations we witnessed this year.
Quite quirky and bizarre. Anisha, what would it be for you? Watermelons, golgappas, biryani.
No, dumbbell with samosa.
Dumbbell with samosa. That
Tops
really
the chart.
took the cake. But Anshul, who do you think is going to sort of win this race when it comes to Q-Comp platforms? Is it going to continue to be Zomato, or do you think Swiggy can catch up?
Aisha, this is a game of high execution. And the margin that you get out of better execution, because the margins overall are small, that benefit that you get out of good execution is just priceless. And whichever player in this space executes better as a result of that margin differential, will do well over a long period of time. They will have greater capital available to deploy behind their business. More and more people will flock to their network, and as a result, this business will do well. Of these two companies that you mentioned, one is clearly head and shoulders ahead, and it looks like that company is taking market share from the other. Unless there is a new player which comes in with a better offering, it looks like in this two-player race, one player is clearly ahead. But what caught my eye is the combination of puja essentials and tonic. The person would be basically having gin and tonic and then going and asking for forgiveness from God by doing puja. Quite an interesting combination. This is how we see this segment of the market.
Key combinations indeed. Not sure what 2025 is going to bring in. Maybe just more of these weird combinations, perhaps. But what's happening in the market and what's really doing well at this point of time is some of these gainers like Adani Enterprises, which continues to gain ground. Have you looked at any of these Adani group of companies, Anshul? And if yes, what would you recommend as a buy?
Anisha, these are some of the companies in this group are very interesting, very forward-looking businesses. Of course, you spoke about the airports business, but the green hydrogen business and new energy technology businesses in this space are quite interesting. Some companies which cater to this segment of the market are actually futuristic companies and will do very well in the future. Companies like Adani Power, Adani Green Energy, these companies will in the future have quite a large market to cater to. Some of these companies have indicated significant investments over the next decade to the extent of $10 billion. Now, that kind of investment, if a group is putting behind one segment of the market, which is green energy, then clearly one can imagine what kind of upsides from that segment they are foreseeing. Of course, the government also has given tailwind to this segment by providing regulatory thrust to the green energy segment. And this group is well placed to take advantage of that. Interesting companies, one will have to go deeper and read the annual reports, but this group offers interesting sort of opportunities in the green energy space.
Okay, let's welcome on board Vinay Rajani as well and find out what he's liking in the market right now. Vinay, hi, afternoon. Good to have you on the show. Is it pharma or anything else that you're betting on the long side today?
Yeah, so definitely pharma and healthcare. These are the two sectors which have been resilient, and currently also, if we were to look at today's movement, today also they are trading at most of the large cap as well as mid caps are also performing from the pharma space. So the definitely relative strength is there in the pharma and healthcare. So the large caps like Sun Pharma has been doing very well and still looks quite convincing at this level. So looking at this particular sector, I think that there is no bearish market. But if I go by the other sectors, bearish moves are there and index is also not showing strength. So definitely in this kind of scenario, we can expect outperformance coming in and continuation of an outperformance from healthcare and pharma space.
Those are some of the stocks that one needs to watch out for. But for the market, what is interesting is the fact that there is a clear demarcation when it comes to the IT names. I mean, take a look at HCL Tech, Wipro, Tech Mahindra. They are in the green. But Infosys and TCS, they were underperforming quite sharply, at least at the start of the day. I'm not sure if they've managed to catch up. Wipro is actually now down, is inching higher. TCS continues to be in the red. But again, there's a bit of a perk up in some of the IT names. Vinay, what's the sense on IT counters? What do you think is the strongest chart, both with respect to the large caps and a mid cap name?
Yeah, so Nifty IT and index has been consolidating for last 4-5 sessions. And if I were to see the today's low of Nifty IT index is at 43260, which happens to be the 50 days exponential moving average. So this 50 EMA has been acting as a strong support for last 4 trading session. And today we have seen that now it is trading at its day's high. So yes, after healthcare and pharma, IT is the index which is looking good and relatively stronger on the charts. So definitely we can expect some outperformance, and HCL Tech is looking strongest amongst the pack. So we can look at HCL Tech. The other stocks which are looking strong is the Persistent System, which is on the verge of making a new all-time high. So Persistent System, HCL Tech, these are the stocks which are looking strong. So technically these stocks are indicating fresh breakouts on the chart, so that those can be looked at for the short-term trading. So I would go for the definitely HCL Tech and Persistent System kind of setup on the charts.
Anshul, you were, briefly alluding to IT as a sector. Just wanted to understand what's the expectation because soon enough you'll have the quarterly numbers which are going to start off with IT.
Yes, Aisha, and if you look at the valuations in the IT sector, particularly the frontline companies, you will notice that most of these companies trade at between 25 and 30 times price to earnings for growth, which is either in single digit or low double digit. Now, this sort of a setup is not, in our judgment, a setup for material upsides. Of course, in relative terms, you may see upsides or relative outperformance in this space because the markets in general are expensive and this is a defensive space. People may flock towards this space to prevent downsides. But on an absolute basis, upsides from here look capped in our judgment. And of course, there will be the odd stock-specific opportunity which one will get in this space. For instance, the name the previous gentleman mentioned, HCL Tech. If you look at the performance over the last 6 to 12 months, it has far outstripped the sector as a whole. Such outperformance in stock-specific opportunities will always be available. But overall, on an absolute basis, to expect material upside from here, I think that will be a stretch in this sector.
Okay, Anshul, on that note, we let you go. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us today.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.